Fraser Minten. That trade has never looked better. And I'm not even just saying off the goal, right? Like Brandon Carlo's out of position, all that stuff. Minten is developing into a really reliable middle six guy. He's not even 22 years old yet. You see the speed, you see the intel, you see the hockey IQ. There's an offensive flair. Like if he was just this for the rest of his career, I think he'd be like, cool, like take it. But he's still really young and can still develop. That end of it, you also have their first. Like, what if the Maple Leafs stink? I don't know. Like, there is that part where it's like, what if that pick ends up being like realistically like 15th or 16th or 17th? And you dumped Brandon Carlo in that. So that trade right now is looking pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, I mean, even if like we laugh about like, oh, what if like Toronto like actually plummets or something and they get the 7th pick or something? I know it's top 5 projected. Even if that's very unrealistic, even if it is something in the late teens, you look at how deep this draft is. Like you're gonna get a really solid like right shot D prospect or a really solid winger, I think, if you get a pick in the teens, or even if it's more realistically 21st, right? Something like that. You're probably going to get a pretty good player in this draft if you, have 1 or 2 picks to work with there. So that already is a plus in and of itself. But then, yeah, like you look at what Minten has been this year, and you hear from, it's not just Sturm. I asked Zadorov today about like what stood out about Minten so far. And, a lot of the guys mentioned like, oh, like his like maturity, his approach on the ice. He's like, young guys don't like grasp like how active you need your stick to be. Like guys just let passing lanes develop because they're not locked into those details. He's like a veteran as far as how he is, and he's just going to get better with that. So, he's getting praise from his teammates, from his coach, and I think you're seeing it, right? Like to what I said earlier, I think if he was your steady 3C, like a Chris Kelly, right? Like great two-way player, great at face-offs, and gives you 25, 35 points, you'll take it because he's so good defensively. But like, what if he has more upside? Maybe he's like elite third line center where he could be like a 40 point guy or even more, or maybe he can play further up in the lineup. Like you look at just his skill set and how much I think, the biggest question marks for him are not, can he hang around? Can he adjust to NHL speed or anything like that? It's just, I think what his offensive ceiling is. I'm not saying that all of a sudden he's got a 25 goal season incoming, but I think you see the way he plays. If he plays to his strengths, the production's going to be there, right? Like it's not like he's this guy that's killing guys on the rush or he's not, dangling through players. But if he plays to, his approach, he's going to be a productive player. So you look at that trade beyond whoever the Bruins could get in this draft, or you can even parlay that pick into a player if you want to move it at the deadline. That already helps out this team as far as their long-term plans. But then you add in a guy like Minten, who at the very least is going to be a middle six stalwart for this team. Trade's looking pretty good right now. You make the same thing with like the Coyle trade as far as like what Will Zellers is doing at North Dakota. And then even what Middlestat, a guy who we've said is, a guy that you're trying to boost his value for. He's like a 50-point guy on the second line right now. So
Yeah.
I do think like all those trades so far have been working out for the Bruins. If only the Bruins got a 2026 first from Marchand, because like Florida's been kind of up and down so far this year. I think they're going to be just fine. But yeah, and even like I looked at another comment from Shane. I know you can't see it on the screen yet, but he's talking about Husandinov as part of the Brazeau deal, right? Like you're having a lot of guys so far that are pulling on the rope and are doing things to contribute to help out this team right now. And what you hope for, they're part of the equation moving forward. And that's kind of what we mentioned, Evan, like before the year started, regardless of where this team was going to end up as far as the standings this year, they a playoff team or whatnot. What we were saying, like the priority for this team was you got to identify guys who are going to be part of this team once you come out the other side of this retool rebuild. Like last year, you found out that Morgan Geeky's a player. It's validated more this year, but if you can come out of this year, regardless of where you end the year, and Minten looks like a legit player, Husandinov looks like a guy that could be in your middle six. All those things are so key for this team. And so far, all these trades have been working out really well.
Yeah, Shane Zellers came back in the Coyle trade
Yeah,
to Colorado, so that
yeah,
was that trade. But then again, that's a trade that's looked really good, really good. Back to Minten. I think one of the big things with me, and this is sort of my trust in him, is like if they had to move him up to the top line for a couple of games, I'd be like, hell yeah. Like, not only do I want to see how he plays up there, but I trust him. I think Sturm trusts him. Like the way he plays defensively, how he assists in the offensive game. Like someone mentioned the Stahl brothers. Like I think it's very clear at this point that Minten is going to be one of those guys that's going to be with you when you're on the other side of this thing. And by the way, you might not be on the other side of anything. If you keep winning like this, it's like, all right, well, just keep winning. Like, so what? But I do think it's clear that he's going to be someone that you're going to build around and he's going to be a piece of this. And I think that is so what they needed. A guy down the middle who's reliable and fits their culture. As much as the Bruins drafted for speed and skill, as much as the Bruins even got a guy like Hustendinov or Will Zellers at the deadline, who were, about speed and skill and offensive finesse, Minten still fits here perfectly, still fits really well. And I think that's a huge part of it as well.